Hello everyone, it's Joan from Joan's Designs and Creations, and welcome to my page. This is a continuance of my previous tutorial on my fall macaron. I'm going to use that as my base, and so I'm going to make some decorations to go on top, and the first is going to be a candy corn. I started out with the base of a brown, and then I'm cutting out the shades that go with the candy corn, starting with the yellow, the orange, and then the white. I got this cookie cutter from All Things Little by Lou. So if you're interested, please go check him out on his Etsy shop. White is the top color. That will round out the base of my candy corn. Next, I am going to put some tacky glue on the sides, and I'm going to add a mixture of clear rhinestones and some fall jimmies, of course fake. Just putting that on the sides, patting them down so they're not sticking up. I'm going to go around all three sides, and then I'm going to next make a piece of pumpkin pie. I got this cookie cutter from Jillo Creations. She also has an Etsy shop. So first I do the crust, and then I roll it out, and then I just do the very tip part of the crust and add that on the top, so that gives that top crust. And then next I will cut out the pie part from my other clay, and I only cut out the bottom 3/4 of the cutter, and then lay that on top, so then it makes a piece of pie. And then you can't have pumpkin pie without some Cool Whip on it. So I take my white and I roll it out into a worm, and then I twirl it around to make a dollop of Cool Whip that I'll put in the middle of my piece of pie. That, of course, is my best part of the pumpkin of Thanksgiving, and fall is pumpkin pie, of course, with some Cool Whip. And I just turn that, twist that around for it to make a dollop of Cool Whip. I'm going to set that aside so it dries a little. The next I am going to take the splat, and I got that splat from All Things Little by Lou. Take the white, work it, and I found out that it was a little wet than what I like to work with. And the first time I did it, it stuck onto my board. And I think what I did is I had used a baby wipe to clean my thing, and I didn't let it dry long enough. So I just worked it a couple times. And you do that, and if you find that it's sticky, you just work at it, let it out in the air, and it air dries, so that pulls that moisture out of it, and then it's easier to work with. I had a little trouble with that at first because, of course, the first time I used it. So then I just put that white splat down on top of my fall macaron. I had made this pinwheel several months ago. I think it was actually last fall that I made that. And that was a tutorial by Carly. And that is Crafting in Chaos with Carly. Took a skewer, put my straw over it, and then added my pinwheel on there. Next I'm just going to make a little orange bow to put on the bottom of the pinwheel. I always like to finish things off with bows. It just helps give a more finished look. Just have to hold that on there a little bit until that super glue sets. And then I'm going to add a pumpkin, and I made a tutorial on that a couple weeks ago. So you can look for that if you want to. Then as I had that twist around the macaron middle, I had some left over, so I cut little pieces off, and I just used those for extra decorations, and then it also helps to hold the items up. You'll see me poking a hole in. I like to put a hole in first, put some super glue, and then add my piece. So you see I added my candy corn on there, and then I decided where I wanted to put my piece of pie, and I just put a little bit of super glue on that back piece to hold it up, and on the bottom, so that will stay put. Put my little pumpkin in front, Again, I just poked that hole with that skewer first, and then I added that pumpkin on top after I put some super glue. That just helped hold it into place. And I put a couple pieces around the back because so when you have a 360-degree centerpiece, you'll be able to show that it's finished in the background. And then I added some little pieces of candy corn around on the different parts of the splat, just to add more decoration to the piece and brings it all together for fall. I really enjoyed making this fall decoration. Please follow me and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.